Welcome back, everybody, and it's time for another video for you. And what I want to show you is a little bit more about joysticks. Now, I guess it was probably maybe a year or two ago I did a video talking about the differences between fighting sticks, and I had some opinions about them. I've kind of thought that over a little bit more, and I've changed it a little bit, not much, but I just want to talk about it again. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about 4 different joysticks. The first is the HAP Super joystick. The second is the HAP Ultimate joystick. Next is the HAP Competition joystick. And then the IL Euro stick, which is right in here. I'm not going to take them out because these are in my cabinet. And it's a pain to get them out, but it's enough that I can talk about them right now. Okay, so a lot of people are confused about what joystick is the best one to have. And I'm just going to go down really basically. I've replaced almost, not every single joystick, but almost all my games where it really matters, I put in these IL Euro sticks. I'll get to the reasons why now. But first, let's talk about what's bad. Okay, so the first one, this is the worst joystick you could possibly have. This is the HAP Super. Now, this one's used. I mean, it's out of a cabinet I actually removed it from. But it's enough to show you the basic premise of the stick. So here it is. Okay, this is what a lot of games, arcade games, came with. And they're really not that great. And the reason is when they're brand new, they're okay. Because what they do is they've got these leaf micro switches, I guess I'd call them, because they've got these metal bars that come off of them. And then when you press a direction, it activates it. Now, the problem is getting these things in tune so they work perfectly. And these little metal bars bend, they come out of adjustment. And then the rubber piece, the actuator, is what that part in the center is, that wears down. It gets hard or softer, depending on what's going on in the environment, whether it's hot or cold. And it's a variable performance. It's kind of junky. It's crappy. You feel it's light, and it's just cheap joystick. And it's just garbage. They came in games, but there's better ones out there. Okay, next up is the HAP Ultimate. Now, this has been this joystick. I thought back. This is matter of fact. This is it. This is the first joystick I bought from HAP, and at the time, I thought, okay, Ultimate, that must be the best, because you've got your Supers, you've got your Competitions, you've got your Ultimates. Now, Ultimate, that seems like that's the best one, but it's not. And just basically, it's similar to a HAP Competition, which I haven't talked about yet. The only difference is it's got a gigantic actuator in the bottom, which, at least on this one, I haven't bought one in a long time, it is made out of nylon. But you see there's like a large gap there between the top and the bottom. Because of the big actuator, it has to have this larger gap. And it's kind of hard to press diagonals because it's so big and blocky. You can see it's hard to get it just right. It's a stiffer feel to it. I mean, the springs aren't any stiffer, but it's a subpar joystick. It's poorly designed. It's not because of its components, but because of the design of it. You notice the joystick shaft is smaller than even on the Super. Same thing with the Competition. It has a smaller shaft. I think it's a cheaper joystick. And they just sell it as Ultimate. It's not Ultimate at all. It's garbage. At least with the Supers, you can adjust out any of the bad play. With the Ultimates, you can't. It's just stuck like that. Stuck being sucky. And then next up is the HAP Competition. Now, I've modified this one. You see these pins are bent. But by default, they come with the actuators. I mean, they used to not come like this, but the actuators in these things are black plastic, and this is PVC. And there's a couple issues with that. Is that one, it doesn't slide as well on the actual joystick shaft as it would if it were nylon. So back when I was buying these, before I knew the difference, I was buying the IL actuators to go on the HAPs. Now, let me just pop this thing off here so I can show you the other thing that's going on. Just give me a second here. But it's not just the actuator that's the issue. Okay, so got the E-clip off. I'm going to take the actuator off here. Do this. It's really hard to get it off. I can try to. There, it finally starts to come loose. Okay, so now you see where the actuator rides on? That's black PVC as well. That piece right there is a PVC piece. So you'd have to replace that too as well to get it right. So just to show you, there's the actuator. I'm going to put the one that came with it back on. Okay, so that's where it comes without, I mean, it doesn't have the E-clip on it. Oops, I got my lenses popping up. Okay. So, this doesn't spin as well. It's just not as good. There's other issues too, is that this comes with zippy, or actually comes with E-switches, not even zippies, which are, they're not gold-plated contacts. They're just regular they're like nickel-plated. So they corrode quicker. The whole thing, the tolerances are different. Now, it is the same joystick physically as the IL stick, but the only the big difference is just that it's made in China. This one's made in Spain, and that makes a huge difference. So now I'm just going to show you. So here you've got your white nylon actuator. If I take that off, see, it slides right off easily. I just don't want to send it flying. And you see underneath there that the shaft that the actuator rides on is actually nylon as well. Now, nylon doesn't wear out as much. It's also less prone to temperature issues, and it's just overall it's a better material in friction-based usages. So that's a big difference there, and that makes a huge difference in joystick performance. And that's why I've been swapping out, because initially I was buying the comps and putting in these the nylon actuators, but I've since switched them out. Like this particular cabinet here originally had these joysticks. Well, first it came when I got it, it had this joystick in it, and I swapped that out and I put these in it, and then I took those out and I swapped them for these. And another thing you'll notice too is that the ILs come with a color matched dust washer, and that doesn't matter to some people, but to me I like that look. It definitely makes it look a lot nicer with the color matched dust washer. But in terms of just performance though, it's totally worth the extra few dollars for the IL stick. And so that's it. I just wanted to go over this real quickly, make a quick video because people have been asking about that. So if you're going to buy a joystick, spend the extra. It's like $16 to buy these things from Paradise Arcade Shop. Spend the money to get them because they are a quality product. They're made in Spain versus the Chinese ones. Haps used to not be made in Spain. They used to not be made in China. Some of them actually were made in Spain by IL. If you look at them, they actually had IL embossed on them. And some were made in the United States, but now they're all made in China and they're garbage. So they're not garbage, but they're not worth the money you spend on them. You might as well spend the extra $2 or $3, whatever it is, to get the IL sticks. They're much, much better. So that's it, guys, and thanks for watching. And I will have a Thanksgiving special for you, too, coming up. So stay tuned.